Micah, good morning, brother. How we doing?
Doing well. How are you?
Outstanding. So how can I help you this morning?
So when I was 18, my dad left our family and moved in with his mistress. At that point, I kind of told him that she wasn't a part of my life, but his life, and I had nothing to do with her. And fast forward to today, I'm 21, and he texts me and my brother that they are now getting married, and he's kind of been forcing upon us that she's a part of his life now, and in order to be with him, we need to meet her. And I still haven't met her and have been recently being conflicted on if I'm doing all I can as far as accepting him and who he is, and also sharing the love of Christ and to his situation, and if I'm in the wrong or not for still holding what I said before and not meeting her.
So why haven't you met her yet?
So one, I never had the opportunity, like at the very first of it. It just wasn't a thing, and I was kind of oblivious to the affair.
But you're 21 now, so why haven't you reached out just to meet her?
I'm 21 now.
Yeah, why haven't you reached out in the last year or two? And this isn't a judgment question. This is just me digging in. Why haven't you just decided, hey, I need to meet this lady? She's been with my dad for 3 years now.
Part of it, from what I've heard of other people and that have known her in the past,
hold on.
I know I probably shouldn't.
Yeah, I don't care what other people say. Why haven't you reached out? You're 21. You can drink and drive. That sounded bad. You can drink, period. You can drive, period. You can buy guns, period. Why haven't you reached out to her? You're an adult now.
I've just always had an uncomfortableness about it.
Okay.
I've never been at a peace.
How has your relationship with your mom changed?
We have gotten a whole lot closer.
Okay.
I'd say she's had some medical issues from all the stress and stuff,
Sure.
and it's been a lot of, supporting her and her supporting the family.
So your dad's getting married soon, and you're in this weird spot. Do you still talk to him outside of his recent text message, which is how children communicate with one another, by the way? It's I would say it's embarrassing and it's frustrating that your grown father chose to drop this on you via text message, but that's for another show. How has your relationship with him been outside of him leaving your mom and finding somebody new? Do y'all talk regularly? Do you talk on the phone? Do y'all have lunch together? How do y'all interact?
We interact on the phone and with lunch. It's very sporadic. Because sometimes it really can be. It's just easier to love him from a distance,
Sure.
and let him reach out to me. Going to school, working, and when I have too much contact with him or I'm talking with him regularly, there's a lot of arguments that go back to needing to meet her and him justifying all of his decisions and me, saying that I don't agree here and stuff, and him just trying to prove why he's right and everything and how he's still in God's will, and talking about, trying to correct me as a Christian too.
So let's put mom down and let's put dad down, and I want to take you in a spaceship and let's go up 30,000 feet above this situation.
Okay.
Okay? So there's a guy who made your mom cry. He hurt your mom, right? When you were an 18-year-old young man. He hurt your mom, and he's continued to hurt your mom for the last 3 years. So you're going to have a natural built-in extended middle finger to the guy that hurt your mom. That's natural and that's normal, okay? And you love this guy called your dad. And in whatever weird way, it sounds like he's still in some broken, fumbly way loves you and still tries to connect with you and still tries to reach out. He's still desperate for your affirmation, right? He still wants you to make sure this is all okay for him because he's still conflicted. But he's still your dad, and you still love your dad, and it's okay to still love your dad even if he hurt you. And so what you need to do is this. Your dad is a grown man of his own, and he's allowed to do whatever he wants to do, right, wrong, or indifferent. What I will tell you is Every marriage has things that goes on behind closed doors that are hard and ugly and messy and challenging. And you will probably never fully get to the bottom of what was in your dad's heart, what was in your mom's heart, what 20 years or 30 or 40 years of them being married was like. You'll never know. You'll also never come around to the fact that what your dad did was okay, right? That's never going to be something that you make peace with. And so what you've got to do is put down your thoughts about what my dad's doing, what his new wife is doing. You got to put all that down, and you have to make decisions, grown-up adult decisions for you, Micah. You've got to decide who you're going to be and what character is going to look like for you. And so less about should I do this for him, and should I be at the... Are you going to be a guy, and these aren't judgment questions, again, I'm just asking questions for you to think through these. This is going to be a loyalty issue about you and your mom. Can I love my dad and still love my mom? Am I going to be abandoning her? Am I going to be being disloyal to her if I go to this wedding, if I go meet this other lady, right? Are you going to be disloyal and abandon your dad who walked away from you guys, right? Are you going to abandon your dad if you never decide to meet her? You've got to own the legacy of these conversations. These are character decisions for you, my man. And so when I want to ask you, put your dad's stuff down, put your mom's stuff down, what do you want to do, Micah?
Okay.
No, I'm asking you. What do you want to do?
I want a relationship with my father.
So he has told you can have a relationship with me in one way and one way only. And that's if you fully accept this new woman and you meet her and you make her a part of your life too, because you don't get me without her. And he's a grown-up and he's drawn that boundary. You may think that boundary's nuts. It may be immoral. It may violate your faith, like your religious codes, but that's the boundary he drew. And your mom may have drawn a boundary, which is, if you loved me, you will never talk to that woman. And now you're a 22-year-old man stuck in the middle of other people's boundaries, which is where we all find ourselves all the time. So I'm asking you, not about him, what do you want to do?
I want to have my own life a part of immorality and being able to raise my own family the way that I see the Lord is leading me to raise them.
Okay. Can you be in contact and in relationship with people who choose different values than you? Or does that mean you're done with them?
No, I can't.
You can't what?
I can be in contact with those people.
You can. Okay.
Yeah.
So my question to you, and you're telling this to everyone who's listening to this podcast, which may be like 18 people, if we're being honest, right? Will you go to that wedding, or are you going to tell your dad, I simply can't accept your new wife. I can't accept that. I still love you as my dad, but I can't be a part of that wedding. Or are you going to go to the wedding and say, Dad, I think this whole thing's a mess, and tell his new wife, you are my dad's new wife. I don't like how any of this happened. I'm going to respect you as a person. I don't approve of this. I don't like this. But this is the life that the cards I've been dealt. And you're going to go to your mom and say, Mom, you're my mom and I love you. And Dad's my dad and I love him. However crooked and messy this whole thing has gotten, I'm going to love you both the best I can. Which one of those sounds right in your heart?
Probably going to the wedding and talking about how it's not right, but I'm still loving both of them.
Okay. What's your mom going to say about that conversation?
She's going to be in support of it.
Okay. Do you feel at peace with moving on towards honoring relationships, even if you don't buy in what's going on behind closed doors, even if your values on the front end say, I don't like this? Are you at peace with that?
Yes, I am.
Man.
A whole lot more.
I usually don't think I do a lot of good on this thing, but I think we got somewhere today, Micah. Way to go, man. Hey, here's the thing.
I do too. Thank you.
Listen, you're 21, and I want to just give you some really great / not great news. This is the rest of your life. I really want this job, but it's in this city. I really want to marry this person, but they want to live in this town. I want to have 6 kids. They want to have 2. I want to have dogs. They want to have cats. This is the rest of your life. I want to go to this church. Okay. She wants to go to that church. I want to have this kind of friend. He doesn't want to. That's the rest of your life. And so what often we get sucked into is, how can I help this person, especially with our parents? Kids get really wound up in, how can I make my dad feel okay? How can I stand my ground, hold my values, be my own person, and also make sure my dad's feeling okay? And so if you can have this hard conversation with yourself, with your faith values, with your mom, with your dad, if you can start having these hard conversations now, Brother Micah, the rest of your life is going to look very different, because you're going to get to own what you want, what your boundaries are, what your values are. And then you're going to own those hard conversations done in dignity and with respect and with love. You're not going to be ugly to his new wife if you choose to meet her. You're going to say, hi, you're a person. You came into this situation. It's a mess. I would have preferred this not be this way. But you're a human. I'm going to treat you with dignity and honor. I'm going to be kind to you. And I'm not going to be disrespectful. I'm not going to become the guy that I watched my dad become. And I'm going to talk to my mom and be honest with her. And that's going to let you live your life with dignity and with respect, hold your values. And if your values end up being, you know what, I'm not going to this wedding. I cannot support anything about this. I think it's wrong. It violates every part of me. Then stand up on your own 2 feet with your head held high and say, these are my values. This is where I drew the line, and these are my boundaries. And you get to do that, my man. You get to do that. I'm not going to bail you out and tell you what I think you should do, but you get to do that. And I'm proud of you for making hard choices, and for it sucks for you being a young kid put in the middle of this, trying to make your dad feel better and trying to deal with a mom who's sick and trying to remain loyal. That's hard, but that's the rest of all of our lives. So good for you, Micah. I'd love to know what you decide to do 2 weeks from now. Shoot me an email back, and we'll read it on the show here. I love to hear back from folks when they say, hey, listen, I took 2 weeks, I took 3 weeks, I did this, and it's been great. Or I'm still struggling with something, and let's talk again. So congratulations, Micah. Good for you.